So I've been following this guy on YouTube, subscribing. I'm a subscriber to his channel. The name's how am I gonna say his name? I'm not comfortable with doing that on YouTube yet. But anyway, he's a funny dude. But his diet more than or his channel is all about all the weird diets he goes on because he's trying to heal himself with the perfect diet, which I don't know if that really exists, but we'll get into that in a minute. So anyways, he's done stuff like fruitarian diets, carnivore diets. Of course, he's done vegan. He's done some really weird stuff where he drinks like his own body fluid to try to heal himself of whatever physical ailments he has. And I think over the last 10 years, he's probably done every kind of diet except a well-balanced omnivore diet. And what's an omnivore diet, you might ask? Well, an omnivore diet is a diet based on what we are as human beings. We are omnivores, which means we do best in general when we eat a good amount, or a good balance, I should say, of all kinds of different foods, especially whole foods, minimally processed foods. So things like fruits, veggies, normal grains like rice, oatmeal, and meat. Steak, chicken, fish, eggs. That's probably about it. If you base your diet just on those basic foods with as minimal processing as possible, you're going to do pretty well. Now this guy, this YouTuber, as funny as he is, and I do find him very entertaining, he's always kind of struggling. He's always kind of struggling to find that really ideal level of health that he's looking for. And I kind of feel bad for him because he's just going off on all these different dietary tangents. And we even have this today, especially in the world of fitness where, like right now, intermittent fasting is really big. I see that all over the internet, on the social medias. And really all that is you stop eating sometime around dinner time, and then you don't eat again until breakfast the next day. And somehow people think that's fasting. So how messed up of a society are we living in? When we think fasting, we're so used to just eating all the time, morning, day, night, whenever, wake up in the middle of the night, have something to eat. We're so used to eating however much we want, that we think fasting is simply not eating between dinner time on one day and breakfast time the morning of the next day, like 12, 14 hours. Apparently that's fasting nowadays. But yeah, if you do that, switching from eating all the time, of course you're going to start doing better. Like, no kidding. And yeah, if you're the type of person who, your dietary habits are out of control, you're snacking all the time, you're eating all the time, you're not getting any exercises, then yes, something like intermittent fasting is a step in the right direction. But that's really what it is, a step in the right direction. And it's okay, it's fine. But just like a lot of other dietary fads, you might say, whether it's keto or carnivore, all these different diets, veganism, they give results in the short term, but in the long run, they kind of stop paying off after a little while. And that's because they're just not very well balanced. The best diet, in general, for most human beings, is a well-balanced whole food diet. And if you want to take it even further, you start balancing your macros: proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Get those in a well-balanced. What I mean by well-balanced, I mean about equal portions of each one. 30 to 40% protein, 30 to 40% carbohydrates, and 30 to 40% fats. And that's going to vary a little bit by person to person, but that's generally where you want to be. That's a great place to start for most people. And it's going to get your food cravings under control. You're not going to have all the weird problems that a lot of people do have. And one of the things about this dietary approach of just well-balanced whole foods is that it's used by some of the strongest, healthiest people on the face of the planet, and it has been for quite some time, and it will be for some time to come. Okay? And you don't have to get that extreme about it. A lot of people, they come into these diets going just way too much, way too soon. Guys, it's a process. Start with just getting a little bit under control, establish some good habits, just get it well balanced. Start eating more protein and more water. That's going to do a lot of you a lot of good. That's going to take away some of those food cravings. That's going to make you feel more full, more satiated, as they like to say. And by default, you're going to eat a little bit less. And you might actually start losing some weight, the much needed weight. You actually lose fat, not just weight in general. You don't want to lose just weight. You don't want to lose muscle weight. Okay, muscle is hard to build for most people. There are some freaks out there that can build it real easy, but in general, muscle for most people is hard to build. So you don't want to lose any of it by just doing a crash diet that makes you lose a bunch of weight real soon, thinking you're making progress. So that's just going to shoot you in the foot, and in the long run, it's going to slow down your metabolism a little bit and make everything worse, and make it even easier to gain whatever weight you lost back. And now you have less muscle and more fat on you than you did in the first place. Don't do that. Be sensible. Look into how to eat a good, well-balanced, whole food diet with good macronutrient ratios. If you do that, you'll be in much better shape in the long run. That's all I got for now, people. We'll talk later.